For today's video, I thought, just ignore that. Hello, so let's talk about culpable homicide in today's video. So what is culpable homicide? Culpable homicide is a common law crime in Scotland, and it's when we have the death of a person, but it does not equate to or amount to murder. So the guilty act, or the actus reus, is the same. What we need is for someone to have sadly died. However, there are four separate categories that are required or that are looked at when a charge of culpable homicide is being raised. So the first one is that we have an assault that has led to this person's death. Now, whilst the offender may have meant for the assault, the death was not something that they intended for. So this can be commonly seen in situations, perhaps you've got two people drinking at a pub, words are spoken, and someone throws a punch. Now, as a result of that punch, they fall, perhaps hit their head, and then die. So that would be category one, an assault that has led to an unintended death. Category two is when we have an unlawful act or action that leads to death. So for this, we need something that's not assault. So an example that I always give to my students is willful fire raising or arson, as it's referred to in England and Wales. So in this example, let's say I am out and I see what I believe to be an empty building. I have some petrol on me, as I do, and some matches, and I go in, sprinkle it about, and set it alight. However, I didn't check all of the rooms, and there was actually someone who was homeless staying in one of the rooms. Now, as the fire grows, they are unable to leave the building and they die. So that would be our second category, an unlawful action that results in death. The third category is a lawful action that results in death. Now, the example that I used to always give was driving, because driving in and of itself is a lawful action. If it's done, you have a license, blah, blah, blah. But in this circumstance, it's perhaps been done in a reckless way and someone has died. However, there is new legislation that now covers this, so this wouldn't really fit into that category as well. You'd be looking for other lawful actions to come under this type of culpable homicide. And then the final category. And this is when you have someone who was probably originally up on a murder charge and a mitigating plea was introduced. So as a result, it has started up here as murder and then it is lowered to the crime of culpable homicide. Now, a mitigating plea, for example, could be provocation. So in this scenario, you are saying I was provoked into acting in this way, and as a result, I am less culpable or responsible for my behaviour. And of course, it will be for the courts to examine whether the circumstances of the crime fit into this mitigating plea and what is allowed or not. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Follow us for more educational videos on Scottish law.